Folks, watching holiday movies always brings us back, and we're going to bring you back to 1994 because this week on Dissect That Film, me and the crew are going to review The Santa Claus. Grab your Baileys and eggnog and let's get wrecked because we're going to dissect that film.
Ho, ho, and welcome to Dissect That Film, a podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me as always is my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
And helping us ring in the wonderful day that is Christmas, we have a wonderful guest once again as this entire background just falls apart. Oh no! Oh,
It's fault.
Once again we have the amazing official Joey C on the show. What's going on, Joey? We're not
what the hell happened back there? It was like an earthquake. I got startled. Good
We're
Lord.
not doing
Folks,
that
thanks
again.
for having me.
That was perfect.
Alrighty, we're keeping that. Keeping it.
So last year, Joey joined us for the wonderful Christmas season to talk about the nightmare fuel that was the Polar Express.
Good Lord.
Which is 20 years old now, which is crazy
Whoa.
to think about. Yeah. So,
I saw that in theaters.
Right? It's on Max right now, and it has literally a 20th anniversary banner on it. I'm like, God, that makes me feel really old. And I've already seen it like 3 times this year, so I don't hate the Polar Express. But today, we're celebrating another movie that is celebrating a anniversary of some sort, a significant anniversary, as we are talking about 1994's The Santa Claus, starring TimAllen. Joey,
What a movie.
what is your history with Santa Claus?
Boy, I watched it all the time as a kid. We had it on tape. And I watched it every Christmas, right? As I'm sure a lot of people did. But the big twist for me is once I hit 10, I stopped watching it, okay? And I haven't seen it since that time. So it's been 19 years. And rewatching it now for the first time in 19 years, it was an experience. My first time seeing it as an adult. So you could basically say it was the first time watching it again. Like, for the first time. I experienced it from a whole new light, a whole new mature noggin right there. Wow, I got a lot to say.
All
I
right.
do.
I love it. Who wants to start over there?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. No, I this is I don't remember like this coming out in theaters. Like, I mean, actually, like watching it in theaters. I recall seeing the trailers and shit like that. But I don't remember seeing this in theater. But I remember the year after, it just kind of like one of those things that was just always there. Like, I think we had the VHS growing up. I know I watched it, with family and stuff, and we watched it at school. It was just one of those things that was around, but it wasn't something that I focused on or would go after as I wasn't really a big fan of live action stuff unless it was like Godzilla or something. Like, I was really more like into the cartoons and such. But yeah, it's just something that's always been there. And like, it just every handful of years, it'll make its way on the TV and we'll end up watching it.
Angela.
I don't know how many times I've watched this. It's been way too many. I can still quote it over and over and over. It's just one we watch every year.
For me, yeah. I mean, I've already seen it 3 times this year because my daughter just throws it on randomly. I think I've seen the first 2. I watched 2 yesterday and rewatched this for the show, but I had already seen it twice before in like little chunks because it was on the TV when I come home from work or whatever. So like this movie just is part of my life every single December. Like it's always on. And it's been like that since I was a kid. I still am. I love Home Improvement. TimAllen, back in the day, loved him. I even watched his newer show that he did not too long ago. I was just like, I always thought TimAllen was hilarious on screen. Everything else, I leave that alone. This movie is just a staple of the holiday season. Like it's the Polar Express. Like, it's funny that we're literally Joey C is on back-to-back episodes of movies that are just so pivotal to the Christmas season in my household. You know, having kids, you always have movies like this on TV. So yeah, this movie is just always has been in my life and has always been a lot of fun. You know, even if some things haven't aged well in the 30, but you got to think it's 30 years old now. So, you know, I think the funny thing is the sequels, you know, when they came out, they were like, yeah, remember the things that didn't look great in the first one? Like, we'll improve on that. And then they got to 3 and I was like, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah, so I've never
Please.
seen any of the sequels, so I'm free from
Same.
that pain. Yeah, I have no idea what the sequels look like.
2?
And didn't the third one come out like way after the second one, or am I misremembering
No,
that completely?
the sequel came out in like 2002 or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it was like 8 years between this one
That's
and the sequel,
wild.
and then the third one came out only a few years after 2.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then now there's a show, The Santa Clauses. It's got 2 seasons where it's just you're hanging out with Santa and his family. Now he's got 2 kids. Tim Allen's actual daughter is in the show playing his daughter. Like it's this franchise. I didn't think this franchise would continue after just the weird whatever 3 was.
Well, it had Martin Short in it, so I'm like really concerned.
As Jack Frost.
Really concerned. Like I ain't watching this shit.
It's not terrible. It's just one of those things where you're like, okay, I think we can stop now. But yeah, let's talk about the cast and crew of this crazy movie. So The Santa Clause was released November 5th, 1994 in Hollywood and November 11th, 1994 in the rest of the United States and around the world. It was directed by John Pasquin, who would direct Tim Allen 3 years later in Jungle to Jungle, but he was more known for TV, and his relationship with Tim Allen would start on Home Improvement. He actually directed and produced a lot of episodes of Home Improvement, so that's kind of where that came from. And this would be Tim Allen's first lead role in a movie. And then a year later, he would do Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story. So a lot going on for Tim Allen in the early 90s. This would also be at one point, though, Tim Allen had the #1 movie in the world, the #1 TV show, and the #1 best-selling book at the same time.
What the hell?
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say album. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought
album,
you were
bro.
say.
It's all about cars because he loves cars.
Yeah, he does. Yes,
He does love cars. So for the cast, we have Tim Allen as Scott Calvin / Santa Claus. We have Eric Lloyd as Charlie Calvin, Wendy Crewson as Laura Miller, with possibly one of the worst haircuts on film. Judge Reinhold as Dr. Neil Miller. Oh man, we've talked about Judge Reinhold before on this show. A movie that came out 10 years before this, Gremlins, which you see back there. I got my little boy
still a
Gizmo right there. He's
fucking
as this movie progresses, he gets worse. David Krumholtz as Bernard the head elf. He would return for the sequel and then shows up in the show for an episode. So there you go. If you're a fan of Bernard from the Santa Claus, he comes back a few times in this franchise. He's not in 3. He was
couldn't go for a 3rd round, huh?
No. The latest thing though he was in was Oppenheimer last year.
Really?
Yep. Small role.
Did he play Bernard?
Yeah, his name is Bernard. I have no idea. I can't remember what his character's name is. He's not compared. I mean, this movie came out 30 years ago, but it's sometimes you're like, oh, is that guy? Like, oh my god, because he's changed a lot. Paige Tamata as Judy the elf, Peter Boyle as Mr. Whittle. He would return for the sequels and play a completely different character.
That's fucking ridiculous.
He plays Father Time in the sequels. Larry Brandenburg as Detective Nunzio. What? Excuse me? Did you say fuck Peter Boyle?
No, I said I fucking love Peter Boyle.
I thought you said fuck Peter Boyle, and I was going to get really upset about this. Well, he's dead. No.
Wait, listen. That ain't stopping nobody.
Listen, Young Frankenstein.
Dude, exactly. Fucking exactly.
Everybody loves Raymond.
There you go.
Yeah. I love.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Am I right?
Oh shit! forgot the crown jewel. I'm sorry.
Can't forget about that. Larry Brandenburg is Detective Nunzio. And I'm like, who? Jane Eastwood as Judy the waitress, because shout out the waitress there that we see for a whole 3 seconds. Kenny Vadaz as Elf's leader. Jeez, I gotta go through this and be like, who?
Did you have to get every minor character?
I was going to, but not anymore. Not doing that.
No, carry on.
John Pasquin does play a Santa in this movie. One that I think it's the one that almost gets arrested or later in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's good. Oh, Frank Welker is the voice of one of the reindeer. Can't forget about Frankie.
Her, I was like,
he comes back and voices more reindeer in the sequel.
Well, I was like sitting there, I was like, that's Frank Welker. There's no way that's not Frank Welker. She's like, yep, it is. I was like,
there was a laundry list of candidates to play Scott Calvin / Santa Claus.
Let's hear it.
The first one was Bill Murray. And I was like,
no.
Whoa. Like, he was perfect in Scrooged, and I think that was good enough. Like, we don't need him I don't need Bill Murray playing Santa Claus. Then, when he turned it down, they were going to go after Chevy Chase. Also, no. Thank God. Tom Selleck, Robin Williams.
Tom Selleck.
Dude, if it was Tom Selleck, this is just straight to Hallmark. Like, what
Tom
the fuck,
Selleck.
dude?
Come on.
Tom Hanks. Mel Gibson, who would play a
what the fuck?
who would play a version of Santa Claus in a movie called Fat Man in 2020, which I still have not seen, but I've heard good things about it. Jeff Daniels.
Sure.
Oh no. And then for Neil Miller, we have Jeff Daniels, Stanley Tucci, Bradley Whitford. I guess they could be good candidates, but I think Judge Reinhold was the perfect guy. He's just, he's just a goober. And I think
he's the guy that plays Neil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Beverly Hills Cop guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
He was a Beverly Hills Cop. I know him from this, Beverly Hills Cop, Gremlins, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, yeah, he is in that one.
Yep. The funny thing was Patricia Richardson, who would play Jill Taylor in Home Improvement, was considered to play Laura. Patricia Heaton, who would play Ray Romano's wife in Everybody Loves Raymond, was considered. And Patricia Clarkson. There you go. I don't even know if I've seen anything this Wendy Crewson has done other than, oh no, that's a lie. She was in all 3 Santa Claus movies. She was in Bicentennial Man. Has anyone seen that one?
Oh, Christ.
Robin Williams as a robot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he went on to play another robot in Robots.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was his phase of doing serious movies. And then lastly, Steve Leshichu as the Santa Claus who falls off the roof.
Classic.
He is uncredited, but I'm going to shout him out.
Thank you.
Rick Baker did the effects in this movie.
Nice.
He was the one who won an Academy Award for American Werewolf in London. He did effects for Men in Black. We've talked about on the show. He did the effects for Men in Black, and all the sequels to that. He's a master of effects. He wouldn't come back for the sequel though. Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Gillis would actually come back and do the effects for part 2, which we've talked about them before on Harbinger Down, which the public hasn't heard that episode, but soon enough you guys will hear about that episode we recorded like a year and a half ago. And they did a lot of the Alien movies, but the fact that Rick Baker did the effects in this, I could see. It was good. All the reindeer, they look good.
Is there a xenomorph in a Santa getup in the second movie? Like a chest burster gets one of the elves?
I mean, just because you work on a movie, Dan, doesn't mean you have to incorporate those things into your other movies that you do.
You're made up by life's journey. So I figured it's fair.
I might have seen the sequels if that was the case then.
Alien.
I will say 2 is not that bad. 2 is actually pretty enjoyable.
Okay.
3.
I heard 3 was fucking horrible.
3 is one of those like, okay, I mean, if you're into substances, and you want to get a little crazy and sit down and watch the Santa Claus 3, it might be a good time. So this movie had a budget of $22 million and made $190.3 million at the box office. God damn, is all I have to say about that. That is
Wow.
wild stuff. Music was done by John. Or that's not John. This is Michael. You idiot, Michael Convertino. Oh man, he would do music for. Let's see. Jungle to Jungle. There you go. That's one I recognize. Other than
That's why I
this
got
movie.
the job.
Yeah. Bull Durham. Oh, that Bull Durham, the one with Kevin Costner. Why do I always think of the boxing movie? What was that movie called? The one with Robert De Niro. That was called Bull
Was
Durham.
it Raging Bull?
Oh, Raging Bull.
Raging Bull, yeah.
Close enough.
That bull in the
It's the same
title.
thing.
We're there. Listen, we're literally at the end of the season. My brain is complete mush. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there.
Yep.
Oh, he did
Fell
the
off
music.
roof.
He fell. Yeah, I fell off the roof one too many times. He also did the music for Frankenweenie, the original 1984 short film, which would then
It still
become.
sucked.
Did you say it still sucked?
Okay, so we first watched Frankenweenie when I was just a kid, and I hated it.
Why?
Tim Burton, dude. What's not to hate? Just kidding. Go ahead. Carry on. No, carry on. Keep finished. I want to hear yours.
I couldn't figure out why they were bringing a dog back to life.
It's cheap. Just get one at the
dog
pound.
died.
It's cheaper, easier, probably.
Because it was the kid's dog, and it's the whole point. It's called Frankenweenie.
I know.
Listen, they did a stop motion remake. Tim Burton directed it 25 years later, and I thought it was really good. But whatever, Angela. Whatever.
Yeah, I always remember her downing on that. She's like, "Fuck Frankenweenie."
Yeah, Shelley Duvall in it. God damn it!
I just remember watching it. We were eating
Hot dogs.
we were eating
ironically.
Little Caesars.
Oh damn!
No, we were eating Little Caesars, and we had
Crazy bread.
no, the drink. It was clear and it had a pink and white label.
Clear, pink and white label.
Yep.
What kind of shit
It's not
you drinking
Steps.
down there?
Wait a minute. Hold on. It's not
Tab.
Tab. Fuck. Okay.
See? I'll never forget that.
Can't wait till somebody watches this in
Listen.
40 years and dusts off Tab from a sarcophagus.
Holy shit!
Tab,
Talking about
unopened.
this.
It's pre the new millennium.
Oh, it had Shelley Duvall was the mom in that, and the actor who plays one of the burglars in Home Alone. Of course, it's not Joe Pesci.
The other guy.
Stern. What the hell is his
Daniel
name?
Stern.
Daniel Stern.
Howard.
Yeah, he played the dad.
Yeah.
I
Howard.
don't know.
Yeah.
I bet if I watched it again, I would
It's-
feel different. But
I like the.
Make sure you don't eat Little Caesars while you're doing it. That could have messed with your state of mind.
All right,
They even
I think
still around. Jeez.
Little Caesars. There's always there's commercials always popping up. Actually, there was a commercial that popped up today, and my dad just looked at me and was like, "Their pizza sucks."
It does, but
I was
it's
like,
cheap.
I
enjoy it.
I was like, I've had it twice, so I can't really make that judgment. He's like, "Well, what did you think?" I was like, "I don't know. I was really hungry, and I was somewhere I didn't know, so I just wanted food."
I don't know how I got here, but there was a Little Caesar, so I just ate.
No, I was out of town, and it was the most convenient place. It was like, oh, okay, around the corner, sure, I'll go get some Little Caesars.
It's cheap.
I don't like going anywhere, so if it's right around the corner, and I don't care, whatever. All right, it's time to hop into the plot of the Santa Claus. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I got
I'm
a
ready.
Question before we start.
Oh, all right.
It's important. It's important. Did you talk to Joey about Santa Claus is coming to town? The game.
Yes, I did. I did send him a message about it.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I
You
just
did.
want to make sure. I was like, I'm gonna forget
Yeah,
if
for
I don't
the
say
Wii.
something now.
Yep. For the Wii.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
God, I'm scared.
Please. Can you please stream it? That's all I gotta say.
Dude, absolutely.
If you do, let me know.
I will
wanna
be
pop into
there.
that.
I will make sure
So
to
hard.
find a way to be there every time you stream that game. All right, here we
Uh-huh.
go.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It is time to dissect.
Dissect.
that.
Yeah.
Boom. The movie.
you almost had it.
The movie
Well done.
starts at a Christmas party, and everybody's having a good time. And Scott Calvin, he's really good at selling toys, and there's a woman there too. And they're like, and it's literally like, yeah, I'm better because I'm the man. Get out of here, lady. Like interrupts her. He's like calling out a dude who's clearly cheating on his wife with his secretary. Yeah, it's a lot going on at this Christmas party.
Seems like a normal thing for these
yeah.
parties.
That's where Peter Boyle shows up. He plays his boss.
Could happen next year.
And you also find out that Scott's not the greatest dad because he was actually supposed to get his son a while ago. And he's like, the whole thing where he's driving down the highway. He's like, he's on the phone with his ex-wife. He's like, the traffic is terrible. He's just like yelling at nobody. He's like,
there's fucking no one on the road.
Nobody.
It's so good.
He literally like almost forgets to take the exit. Is that very ladylike?
I can't lie. I've done that same thing a few times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So he's driving home and he's going like through downtown, and this is where you start seeing elves. Like if you didn't realize it, you actually see your first elf in this scene. It's one of the kids looking into the window, and they were showing like 3 different kids, and 2 kids have normal ears, and you just look at one and it's got the pointy ears, and then they turn and they run away. Yeah. They're all throughout the movie, like way before he becomes Santa. The fact that it's like a setup for him becoming Santa, like it was predetermined that it was going to happen.
There is no free will. It's all predetermined.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, is this like a scouting mission? Like, is the old Santa just accepting his fate? He's like,
he knew it was coming.
Dude, we have to talk about that one.
We're gonna get to it. We got a lot to talk about the old Santa Claus. This song always just seems so creepy. Like it's that ding, and you're just like, I know it's supposed to be like super festive and you're supposed to get you into the holiday spirit, but I'm always like, I'm waiting for fucking Krampus to show up.
Oh yes,
and just like another movie I watch every year. God, that movie's great. And you're just waiting for Krampus and all of his creepy ass toys to come get you when that song just pops up. It's like, this is not.
I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, you got the 4K.
Oh, I got the 4K.
Steelbooks.
Ooh.
He tells me about it. I'm like, you didn't get it for me? And we go to Walmart last night, and I'm like, oh, mine. Thank you.
I love Carol Bells. Like, it is my favorite Christmas song. Like, hands down.
Is that what the song is called?
Yeah, okay. It's Carol Bells.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
And then Thrice does a dope ass cover. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But
that is sick.
Fucking love this song.
I'll have to listen to that one. I just love the one that Peter does on Family Guy.
Ding fries are done. Ding fries are done.
I like to make a paper whoppers and a paper has. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that?
The true meaning of Christmas.
That's the only way I can sing it anymore.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh, so good. We meet Charlie, his mom Laura, which at first I forgot what her name was. I was like, I've seen this movie 3 times already this year. I can't remember her name. Laura, because to be honest, the parents annoy me. Like Laura and Neil. Oh God, they're
kind of shitty characters.
It's not the fact that they're. I mean, yes, to a degree. No, they are. They're 100% are. Like what they're trying to. Like this kid's what, 7? Like let this fucking kid live. All right.
Shoot
and we meet Neil
with a tranquilizer.
I wish.
Yeah.
Just have the elves going.
She's still going, and she's just like, oh no. But Charlie doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be with his dad because his dad clearly doesn't give a shit. And I know the feeling, Charlie, because I was a product of divorce too, and I went through this shit myself. So I knew how this kid felt.
So I did not like. I don't know. I didn't really feel either way. Like it was kind of like, cool, you got to go to dad's for a while and then go home. But yeah, I was the same way. Like I didn't know. I don't remember my parents being married. I just thought that shit was normal. So yeah. I get it. Yeah, sometimes you just wanted to stay home. Sometimes you don't want to go to dad.
No, I'm not saying it was the fact of like I didn't want to go to my dad's. I actually wanted to go to my dad's more.
That's fair.
But it was just like just the constant just flip flopping, and then your parents don't get along. It's like, but you guys left each other. Shouldn't you get along now? You don't have to deal with each other anymore.
Never stops.
Yeah, you find out that Neil is a psychiatrist. I'm sorry, but the whole let's make fun of a guy's profession because he's not a actual doctor, which is Scott's biggest thing with Neil is, he's a psychiatrist. It's like,
the whole movie.
Bro, he still had to go to school. He got a fucking like he's got the fucking thing in his house that says he's a doctor. You sell toys.
Yeah, and he probably makes a fuck ton of money too.
Oh, probably. I mean, Scott does too.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we make fun of chiropractors at least?
No, because one is doing beauties on my back right now.
But they're not doctors.
I don't give a fuck what he is. Like, he's helping me out.
He's some fucking homeless dude down the street who's just doing this.
I don't know. His office is pretty nice for a homeless guy.
I was just saying, hey man, as long as he makes you feel good, that's all it works for me. I'm just saying, equally not a doctor.
That's the attitude.
Had to go
that
to school
everybody
for
should
it.
have.
But
All right.
if a guy knows what he's doing,
I don't want to sit here and bash a bunch of professions here. Let's move on.
and listen, sometimes you got to go.
You're gonna need to go to a chiropractor, and they're gonna hear this, and they're gonna like,
Yeah.
up your back.
Whatever.
Angela's gonna be like, Dan's going to a chiropractor. I'm like, oh, send me the guy's number. And I'm just like, I just literally text this guy the
Please.
episode,
Holy
and I'm
shit.
like, it's timestamped for this section.
Please listen, and I'll tell him like I don't think you're a doctor, but you got to do something on my back. It's like listen, some people have to go to certain people to feel better, and sometimes that's a certain profession that's also not a doctor. Like what Joey and I were talking about before the podcast.
That's true. That is very true.
I don't even remember what you guys were talking about. So
Pornography.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Also not doctors. They could be.
That's
though.
where we went. Oh, they're just not doctors. Okay. We're not insulting them too much. Okay.
I'm not a doctor. I'll clean your carpet though.
It's like it's the end of the year, guys. Let's see how many people we can offend before the show just completely gets shut down.
That's what I'm here for.
Yikes.
He's
So
gonna kick you out over there somewhere.
oh Lord. So yeah, Charlie is spending Christmas at his dad's, and his dad tries to make a Christmas dinner, burns the turkey, hits that thing fucking with so much of that fire extinguisher. Dude, you know how long it takes to make a fucking turkey? I would be so mad if this is how this ended. Like, oh shit,
literally.
sorry, I burnt the turkey. Also, there was a bunch of other things on the kitchen table. They just said, fuck it, we're going to Denny's. Like, they just said, fuck every other thing that is on this table, we're going to Denny's. Like,
We can't go to Denny's.
No, we can't do Denny's.
We're banned
anymore.
from Denny's.
No, we can't go. Anyway,
You're
that's a true
banned?
story.
Wow.
Not like we
No.
self-imposed ban.
oh, okay.
Well, it
Ah.
seemed like everyone was fucking hanging out in the Denny's in the movie because there's like a whole fucking corporate meeting.
It's
this
a
fucking
Japanese
scene.
corporate meeting.
Yes.
And then you just have a bunch of dads who did the same thing as Scott. They're just like, and one guy burned
Yeah.
himself. Yeah. Oh man.
Guy had like a cast or whatever on his hand or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I did the same thing.
And then they order stuff and they have nothing. Every time they order something, it's like, well, we're out. We don't have it. I'll have chocolate milk. We're out. Regular milk is fine. I'm like, yeah, damn straight regular milk is fine. Milk is
I'll
delicious.
get it for you, sweetie.
They could have just brought him chocolate syrup. They have to have
And
it.
he literally was like, oh, well, at least there's still apple pie. There was. I'm like, fuck this place. I'm going to find another Denny's.
Yeah,
No
seriously.
shit, dude.
This place sucks.
I want a refund.
Oh, man. Yeah, and Charlie's just not a fan of his dad taking jabs at Neil because he actually likes Neil. And I'm like, good for you. I'm glad you like your step-parent. Yeah, I will just not go on. So they get home, and he's putting Charlie down to bed, and he tells him like his thoughts about Santa and the reindeer and all that stuff, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. I love how Charlie is just like, well, whatever, Dad. Like, he's just trying to be genuine with him, and he's just like, okay, go to sleep. Yep, all right, yep, go to sleep. And I was like, boy, what do you see this kid like? 2 days a week?
Yeah.
He better.
If that. Yeah.
He better, Scott. So they're sleeping, and god damn, this Santa is loud. So this is where you start to kind of get the inkling, like, is this Santa purposely being loud so that Scott goes outside and does what he does? Because Santa's not supposed to be loud. Also, I got to mention the fact that Charlie calls out a line in A Night Before Christmas where he's like, the line in the actual book is "Rose such a clatter," and it is, I don't remember how he says, like something ladder, right? It's Rose clutch a ladder or something like that. And he's like, no, it's Rose such a clatter. But then, so he gets waking up. The first thing is when Scott runs outside, my daughter looks at me and goes, he didn't even put pants on. I was like, I know.
I thought about that too.
You take you don't have just pants laying on the floor like next to your bed. That's what I have. Like, I'm sleeping the same way Scott's sleeping, but like when I'm waking up and I got to go do something, like if that's a dress, like at least I got pants right there and I'm just slipping them on, especially when it's cold outside. What do you think? That jacket ain't going to fucking cover your balls, bro.
It ain't covering nothing.
No.
So he goes outside.
Hey, at least he has he has pants on and he's not showing his boobs. He has some form of pants on, even if it's just his boxers.
This is a Disney movie, so we have to be a little
That's true.
classy. But yeah, he looks up on the roof and he sees something. He's like, "Hey!" And whoa! And the Santa slides down, falls into a snow. I'm sorry, who's dying from this?
Eat shit.
He lands in a snowbank, and it seemed like a pretty soft snowbank. There's no way. This just had to be
the reaction too was so bad. It was like, "Whoa there, guy!" As Santa's sliding off the roof, and he's like this,
like, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna tell him to stop, bro? My guy is sliding off your roof.
Are
you gonna catch him?
So steep.
Yeah.
For one, my favorite thing about TimAllen is he's very quick with like his comebacks at things, but also his facial expressions are great. Like when the Santa falls off and lands on the snowbank, he's just like, what did I just see happen? But also, yeah, this just had to be predetermined, right? Because like you're not dying from that. You might get injured.
No.
Like it's not like he landed on his head. Like he landed on his back in a snowbank. Yeah, he does. He does this.
His spine broke his fall. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, do you think there's a contract, like literally in the Santa Claus, somewhere buried in this code or whatever you agree with? Because there's got to be some contract somewhere where you are verbally agreeing to by taking not just on the card, but like the full thing. So, do you think there's a time limit?
I don't know.
Do you think there's like so long and it's like, dude, Bernard's like, time's up, Santa. It's happening tonight.
So,
and like that's why the elves are there. Like they're there to stage it. So he goes down and fades into nothingness.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Like snap just turns into ash.
Yeah. So from what I remember because the show kind of does an episode explaining like the history of Santa, like how there's been so many before him. And
like Captain America.
Because in the first season, Scott, yeah.
He is though, but carry on.
Yeah. Scott and his family, like his family doesn't want to be like they don't want to live in the North Pole anymore. They don't want to like live this life. So Scott gives up being Santa and he's got to like hire a new Santa, and then he goes and like lives a normal life with his kids. But then like in order to bring him back, he's like brought into this weird like fantasy world where it shows like literally all the Santas of history and like how long they were Santa for. I don't remember
the Impaler there.
Well, the second season has like an evil Santa.
Oh,
it's like Cinder Claus or something like that.
Is it Goldberg?
Really?
No, it was like the second season is like about a Santa that was evil, and he was like banished from being Santa, and he was like hidden in a fucking thing for hundreds of years or thousands of years or whatever. And then, yeah, I didn't finish the second season, so I have no idea how it ends. But yeah, so Charlie, he's just, let's talk about Scott's reaction to everything that's happening. He's kind of a dick, but is it justifiable? Jury, what do you say?
I don't know. He's like, think of like how bad of a dad Robin Williams is in Hook, in the beginning of Hook.
Yes.
This is like cranked up to like fucking 10. I don't think it's justifiable at all. Because the first half of the movie, or like before the whole Santa thing, I'm like, this guy's a fucking jerk off, man.
Yeah. Yep.
For no reason.
Yeah, and he's like just being so mean to Charlie. Like Charlie's like a 7-year-old kid. He's just curious.
Yeah,
he literally just killed Santa Claus. Like, I feel like this would be more traumatic for Charlie. It's like, Santa's dead. But he's like excited. He's like, Dad, you got to put on the suit. He's like, and he's just being a complete asshole to Charlie.
And they're just acting so nonchalant. Like, my guy, Santa Claus, just fell off your fucking roof, and you're fucking sitting here making jokes about your 2-year son. Like, my guy, are you serious? Freak out more.
Yeah. And
but
he sees the reindeer too. So he thinks he's like hallucinating. He's like, what did I have? Like, what is going on? Go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, like, I mean, like, yeah, Scott's like, I mean, he's a dick. I don't know. He's kind of a pissy mood. I got hooked.
What do you got there? You got a little whacked.
Yeah, he did. He got me. Anyway, so Scott's kind of a dick. Like, I agree with that. Like, he's an asshole. Terrible dad, more like leading up to this point, which seems to go hand in hand with everybody else in this fucking his family. But like, I don't think his reaction may be a little overblown or really like weird at times, but like if a dude fell off my roof, I'd be like not concerned about appeasing my child to put on the suit, but like somebody fucking fell off my roof and probably died. That's what I would be concerned about.
Like, I'm gonna call the police. Like, I need somebody to come look at this. This is not okay. But also, the ladder shows up. The rose clatter, whatever the fuck it's called. And, you know, Charlie's like, look, I told you, Dad. And then Charlie just goes up the ladder. That's why I'm like, no. And I grab the back of his jacket and I take him off the ladder.
The kid go up.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, if I was him following him, I was like, I'm going to go put some pants on. But because he had to chase his son up this ladder, he's still just in his underwear. So he goes up there, meets the reindeer. He puts on the suit after being so it's Charlie's. Ultimately, Charlie is the reason he becomes Santa Claus, because he just pressures him so many times to put on the suit. And he finds the Santa Claus card, which he doesn't realize has the fine print on it. It just says on the back, like, put on the suit and the reindeer will know. And he puts on the suit, and one of the lines that he says is, I hope the guy lives here is a tailor, which is a shout out to Home Improvement because that's his last name in the show.
Yeah. Hey. That's one of two Home Improvement references in the movie.
Yes, we'll get to that when we get to that scene. But actually there's 3 in this movie if you think about it.
Ooh, 3.
Yeah. So he's got to do Santa Claus's job. He goes in the sleigh, he goes down the chimney. The first chimney, the effect is this is the effect that actually looked good. The reindeer flying around did not look good in this movie. It was literally the reindeer in like one shot and they just moved their legs. There's like, like what happened? Like the reindeer should be moving, man. But he meets a little girl named Sarah, and he's an absolute piece of shit to this girl. He sucks. Yeah. She's like, oh, you gonna eat the cookies and drink the milk? He's like, I'm lactose intolerant. And I was like, whoa, attitude. Back it up. This is a little girl. She doesn't know what the hell's happening.
Oh, you're in her home, dude. You get like illegally.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, the first house he goes to, he gets attacked by the dog, and then it like sets up the alarms and stuff. He hops in, and then it goes just to the house across the street. He's like, oh, probably. I mean, he does say he did. Yeah, he does the job. He actually grows to enjoy it towards the end of it, and that's where he does the ho 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 like Tim Taylor does. He does ho ho ho, you know. That's the other Home Improvement
reference.
Yeah,
okay. Yep.
Yeah. I wanted him to do his one that he does in the No, he goes I love it. I wanted him to do that so bad.
But I do love when he's like, okay, it's time to go home. And I'm getting a CAT scan.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, but home to the reindeer means the North Pole. And he gets there, and Lord, I don't know if it's my favorite thing, but the things I love about the elves in these movies, or at least this movie, is they're posing. Like, this elf shows up, he comes from around a snowbank. He goes up to he pulls up the North Pole. I love it. I love that Scott's just like, it's the North Pole, really? And then a number pad shows up, dials 1239, which is when Rudolph was first added to Santa's reindeer. When the story was created. Poor Rudolph. Rudolph, we need your nose for the trenches.
Yep.
Can't see a thing.
Exactly.
But the elf, after he puts in the code and you hear the like choir music going on, which is always just like eerie. Do the people hear this, or is this just part of the soundtrack of the movie? Because to be honest, I feel like it's actually being heard by Scott and Charlie. But this elf literally folds his arms. He's like,
yeah.
I'm like, what? And I love that all the elves are just like, yay, the new Santa's here. No one gives a shit about the old Santa. They're like, yay, new Santa.
His contract was up.
Yeah, no, they came in like Men in Black and they erased their mind.
Oh, that's true.
if you look in
There
the
you go.
back, there's like in the background of certain shots, there's one elf that's just caged up against a wall, and there's like marks
my
the wall for each Santa. This Santa's not my Santa.
not my
I didn't vote for the last one to be kicked out. Blah blah blah. Something. Where's Herbie at? Herbie doesn't like to make toys.
He's a dentist now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess the fact that the Santa dies and then like disappears, he like goes off into like Santa heaven or whatever it is, or some Santa afterlife. So I guess the elves are kind of okay with it. It's like, oh, they're kind of like, oh, remember that
like
old
Black
Santa? We
Adam?
forgot about it. Yeah, maybe.
Not from the movie, but like the comics, when Black Adam, because he's been alive so long, when he says Shazam and transforms, he like ages like X amount of thousands of years in an instant and just phases out. And like maybe that's what happened to this dude. He's been Santa for so long, like it keeps him like eternal. Like he hits that age, and that's just where he's.
Well, that's
at,
the thing. I think Santa is.
Maybe he was the
immortal.
evil Santa,
he could have been.
and they were so stoked that he's gone.
They have the Sisters of Fate in the background from Hercules, just looking at those lines.
Yep,
That was that Santa's life. Whoa, off the roof.
Exactly. They're all glad the peppermint regime's over.
Yeah. They're like licking the eyeball. Putting it back in.
Peppermint regime.
So we meet Bernard. He is the head elf, and
This man's killed somebody before. There's no way he had.
I do love his yarn hair.
Yes.
His yarn hair is awesome. You're just like, subtlety. All right. And he gives Charlie a magic globe, but doesn't explain what it does quite yet. He just gives it to him. He's like, this is very old. Take care of it, okay? And he's like, sure. And I was like, yeah, no thanks. I'm going to hold on to that. That looks old and valuable, and I'm not letting my 7-year-old wander around with it. And this is where he tells Scott about the Santa Claus with an E, which is where he shows him with the magnifying glass. He's just like, you put on the suit, you sign. It's pretty much a contract that you'll be Santa. And he's like,
Insert
what?
TimAllen faces.
But as he's wandering the workshop, he puts on a tool belt and he looks down at it and he's like, and then puts it back. So there you go. There's your final one.
Yep.
We meet Judy. She's adorable. She's an elf who is clearly very old. She's like 1,300 years old or something like that, because it took her 1,200 years to perfect this hot chocolate recipe, which I guess is imagine that. Imagine trying a hot chocolate recipe that took 1,200 years to perfect. It has to be the most divine hot chocolate ever.
Oh,
It has to be.
And it's and she serves it in that like metal cauldron, like that metal. Oh God, it probably tastes so good out of that. Oh,
she met James Bond.
Wet. And then they go to sleep, and then they wake up in their home, and Scott's still wearing the pajamas that have the SC on it. And Charlie's very excited about Christmas morning, and then of course he's a 7-year-old, so he's literally going to tell everyone and their mothers that his dad is Santa Claus. That's what kids do.
Yep.
And that's when everything just starts to fall apart. Like Charlie takes his dad for like meet your parent or whatever it was that for some reason only in movies does this happen. I've never had career day like this ever in my school.
Neither have I.
Where it's like, bring your parent and tell everybody what they do. No, you just told your parent, or you told your friends, hey, what's your dad do? And you told them, and then they didn't give a shit after 30 seconds. They're like, who gives a shit?
Seriously.
Cool.
He makes people disappear. Really? Like, yeah, I don't ask a lot of questions.
What's his nickname? Oh, he's called the Iceman. It's like, cool. All right. I'm going to keep going. But yeah, the whole time it's just like, well, did everything that happened last night actually happen? It's kind of, that's what's going through Scott's head. Charlie is like 100% like, no, we went to the North Pole. We did this, that, and this. He's like in his room setting up like fake sleigh with reindeer, and his mom's very concerned about it. And I'm like, what?
He's a kid.
Me and my wife looked at each other and went, if I walked into any one of my kids' rooms and they were doing this, I'd be like, all right, cool.
That's sick.
You're preoccupied. You're doing something creative. Cool. Like I used to pretend to be other people. I used to pretend I was Steve Irwin all the time growing up, bro. I had a life-size stuffed animal crocodile. I used to wrestle that shit all the time. I used to catch, dude.
Yes.
I used to do, yeah. So fuck you,
I used to
Mom.
pretend I was Grimace all the time.
Oh shit! His eyes just moved, dude.
Oh,
I see eyes through the back of your.
I'm just waiting. I'm just
Your
waiting
chair.
for his head to just slowly hover above your chair, and you're just like,
bro,
"Dude,
if
what is he
the day
standing
that
on?"
happens, I'm fucking jumping out of that fucking window right there.
You just see
Oh
the
my
camera
God.
cut out. You just hear.
Fuck where you are.
I like your hat, Grimace.
He's very classy.
He is
Yeah,
classic.
very dapper.
Oh,
That's how Italian I am. My fucking uncle gave me that hat. He goes, "Hey, it's a real classy hat. I want you to have it." And I'm like, "Wow, thanks, Uncle John." And I put it on a Grimace statue.
did you send him a picture of it? Like, this is where your classy hat is now.
Anyways, back to the movie.
Grimace, the ultimate Italian.
I want you to wear that hat while holding a slice of pizza and doing a kickflip.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
That'd be
Matter of
sweet as
fact, I'll
fuck.
put the Grimace outfit on and then put on that hat and then do a
Do it.
kickflip.
Fuck yes.
Instantaneous, you just blow up everywhere.
That's
The
right.
internet would explode. Just too much
That's how-
manliness.
Yeah. Oy vey. Yeah, so fuck you, Mom, for,
Yeah.
sucking. All right? Leave your kid alone.
Yep.
Let him pretend to be Santa.
Leave your sucking for Neil.
Yeah, Neil ain't getting shit, bro. Oh, man. So, yes, the things start slowly happening. I love their meeting with the principal. Like, what are we meeting about? Because Charlie said his dad is Santa. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
we meeting about? What is, like, who cares?
It's not like he's fucking
Oh.
bullying a kid or something. He just has an active imagination.
Yeah, and then throughout the whole, I love the fact that, like, Laura and Neil are trying to be serious with the principal, and Scott's just cracking jokes about, like, what he
Yeah,
was
the
doing with
whole
Charlie the night before. Oh. But yeah, things start to slowly change for Scott because they're like wandering around. He's got to tell Charlie, like, Charlie, you got to stop telling people I'm Santa, okay? Because I'm not Santa. But then you see behind him, he's got reindeer like literally following him, or it was like deer or whatever following him down the path. So yeah, then other changes start happening with Scott. Like he wakes up and he's gained a lot of weight. He starts having some facial hair. He goes to the doctor. The doctor's like, "There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're fine." He's like, "Are you serious?" And he's got the belly roll. He's like,
jiggles
does this look like there's nothing wrong?
Just look like a little bit.
The only reason I remember that scene is because that particular shot was used in like a Disney Channel promo for the movie. And I
Yeah.
remember that particular scene being shown all the time. So the second I heard it, it instantly sounded familiar.
100% though. I don't think he wore a fat suit in these earlier scenes. Like before he becomes fully Santa, like that looks like his actual stomach. Unless that was some really good prosthetic work. Like,
Well, even later, like when he has shorts on and it shows his big legs.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, that looks pretty fucking good.
I didn't really look too deep into the behind the scenes, but like I wouldn't be surprised they were just like, "Hey, you got to gain some weight." Like, I mean, they ask that of actors all the time. But yeah, there were some scenes where it's like, it doesn't look like he's in a fat suit. I think the first time he looks like he's in a fat suit is when he shows up to his office in his sweats and he like orders a shit ton of food for lunch.
Yes.
But it's mostly like
Yep.
sweets and stuff. And he's giving the dude shit because he's like talking about a fucking tank or whatever. He's like, "Santa would
he
never
does
ride
order
around
a
in a
salad.
tank." He does.
But he doesn't eat the salad. The salad remains uneaten on the
Yeah.
table, if you've noticed.
Yep.
Which
I
is a
did
nice
actually.
little touch.
Good get.
I like that. I like that touch.
So yeah, he starts gaining weight. He starts he does the whole thing where he's like shaving and he's like, it just comes back the next day. Like I still like I can't get rid of this. He goes to his son's soccer game and kids are just wandering up to him asking him like for things for Christmas and he's just like, what? Like this is weird. Also, where are the parents? Where are the
Yeah.
fucking parents? Their kid is wandering up to a random. Listen, I don't think Scott does anything wrong in this scene. Like it's not like he was these kids just came up to him. Where are the parents to be like, "Excuse me, who are you? And why is my kid next to you?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, the parents are just nowhere to be found. Because these kids are like 5 or younger. I'm sorry. No. So yeah, everybody's getting concerned. Laura and Neil are like, "Whoa, something's gotta happen here." Because this is very concerning, Scott. Like the fact that you're just taking this I'm Santa Claus thing a little too far. And it's just like, do you really think you know this guy, right? Like
Yep.
you know this. You've known this guy for a long time. You were married to him. Clearly, he was a piece of shit. So you divorced him. You have a kid with him. Like this is concerning because you think that he is actually trying to become Santa. Is that like what you're concerned about, or maybe you'd be like, "Hey, Scott, I'm just concerned for your health." Like maybe that should be the thing, Laura.
Yeah, literally.
Like, what is he doing to your kid? He's at the fucking soccer game before you are. So what is he doing wrong? Whatever.
That's a good point.
Listen,
His worst crime up to that point was just gaining weight.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
My
Good
goodness,
Lord.
and it's like
Tell me
it
you're
makes him
fat
like
phobic without telling me. Good Lord.
no kid. Like it's like his whole thing is he's like they're grilling him to tell him like you need to talk to him about it. Like he's been fucking talking to his kid about this. This isn't like the sudden like new thing.
Yeah, and the thing is like Charlie is like this is where Charlie is starting to connect with his dad. Like he didn't have a connection with his dad, but now that he thinks, even though it is true of what he is saying, he is being told it's not true, even by the person that should be defending him. So there's like the whole fact where he is just like, he just accepts. He's like, no, yeah, I am. I think I remember. All right, let's keep going with this, but just don't tell your mom or Neil. But yeah, it always just bothered me. It's just like Laura and Neil are the true bad guys, in my opinion, because they're just feeding Charlie a bunch of bullshit. Like the fact that like they're already like they're telling, like Neil's like pretty much trying to push the fact that like Santa doesn't exist. It's like, what the fuck, bro? He's 7. He'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, literally.
Chill out. So Scott gets the list. That was one of the things he was told he was going to get. And it's like literally 1,000 boxes get loaded into his house. And he literally looks at it and it's like, oh my God, anxiety. If I ever got this, I'd be like, nah, I'm just going to walk out. I'm going to burn this house down. I don't want anything to do with this.
What list?
Yeah, I never got to be.
Yeah. And I love how he chases after the truck and like 9 trucks are going down the street.
The truck's like, don't look. Just keep going.
We ain't taking this bitch back.
So yeah, this is kind of the whole end of the line with like Laura and Neil are just kind of done with it. You get this. This is also the scene where Scott shaves and it immediately grows back a white beard.
Yeah.
He also dyes his hair and it turns right back to white. But yeah, Laura and Neil take him to court, take Charlie away from him. And I'm like,
such shit, dude.
That is awful.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But he's so he's sad. He's sad boy. He's wandering around. So initially when he like things start happening and he doesn't believe what's happening, he's wearing black Converses. But once he starts accepting the fact that he is becoming Santa, he starts wearing red Converses.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I do like when he's wandering down the street and he's like talking. He's like, I can't remember the names of everybody. But he's
David,
like the little girl.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's like,
Tina, you know.
very nice. And she's like,
yeah. She's like in your dreams, old guy or whatever.
Yeah.
In your dreams,
Sleigh
big boy. Or Sleigh Boy. And he's like, who? But yeah, before the whole court thing, Laura and Neil are talking about like when they stopped believing. And Laura talks about she asked for a game called Mystery Date. And she never got it. So that was kind of her way out. And then Neil stopped at 3 years old because he didn't get a Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. And I went, and she goes, 3 years old? And I went, 3 years old? Listen, as a father of a current 3-year-old, there's no fucking way that you're going to remember something like that and have it affect you for the rest of your life at 3 years old. Okay? Come on, Neil.
It's ridiculous.
What was your home life like? Come on, Neil.
This one scene just ruined the whole movie for me. It's like, nope. My suspension of disbelief can't stretch that far. It's over now, guys.
It's like 3 years old. You couldn't have bumped it up to like 5. Like,
yeah,
that's a little bit more believable.
Sense.
But like 3, like I said, as a father of a 3-year-old, you're like, no way, no way,
not a fucking chance.
Whoever wrote the script probably didn't have a 3-year-old, more than likely.
Well, the writers of this movie, I forgot to mention them, Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick. They would write Space Jam 2 years later.
No way.
Your favorite movie.
And the Will Ferrell movie, Kicking and Screaming, in 2005.
Not familiar with that one.
A more forgettable film. It's pretty pretty okay. But
It's got Robert Duvall in it.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
I was like, what? All right. So yeah, he gets Charlie taken away from him, and the only so when the judges talk, there's like a judge voiceover as they're like walking away with Charlie. I didn't realize that Charlie is like crying in this scene. And the only reason I knew he was crying is because the subtitle said Charlie sobbing. And I went, oh, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, that
Poor
is
guy.
sad. Yeah, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, and then you see Sad Boy Santa, wandering down with his thing. And then he literally immediately goes
nice
to
outfits.
Laura and Neil's house and peeks through their window. And then
must have
just goes in.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said he had to walk. They must have repossessed his Ford Taurus. So
It is.
that
a
was what he
Ford
was
Taurus,
driving.
too.
It was the first generation SHO Taurus with I think ARE wheels on it.
You would think this guy probably makes a shit ton of money, right? That was a pretty nice condo. You think he would afford a better car, right?
Well, the SHO Taurus was top of the line at the time. Was top
Yeah.
Taurus
Yeah.
at the time. Was the performance model. It was. I mean, you would think he would have a European car because that would be like a BMW or something. But
Yeah.
maybe he's too busy blowing it on making toys. I don't know. I don't know what else this guy does. They never bring it up. They don't talk about like a mistress. So I have no fucking clue, or a lady.
So he doesn't even need a mistress. He's single.
Yeah, why did they even talk about why they got divorced?
Well, I mean,
Probably because of work.
look at his behavior.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
probably
probably.
because of him. He was always
Yeah,
at
piece of
work.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
it goes.
too.
Mm.
But they've been divorced for a while though, because Neil and Laura are married, like in this movie.
Oh,
so
I
they've
didn't
had
know
been
they were
divorced for a
married.
bit. Yeah, no, they're married.
No,
She said because the
I'm
judge calls her Mrs. Miller when they give Charlie away. Yeah.
Time out. Sometimes people get divorced and immediately get married to the other person they were seeing the whole time in like 3 months. So that does happen. But just saying.
Boy.
They had to get divorced because he's a toy maker and
There's no more toy makers to the king? Okay, I'm sorry. Different movie.
he has to become
The
Santa
only-
Claus because he's the toy man.
Wow, where's Wingle, Tingle, and Dingle and Schlingle?
Pringle.
Pringle.
Oh man.
That's not my toy maker. My toy
Schlingles.
maker is Sylvester Stallone in Spy Kids 3D.
Yes.
That's the only one I recognize.
oh
Dude, that
Lord.
sucks because now I'm thinking of the DC toy. Was it? Yeah, it was a toy maker in DC.
Yeah,
as
toy
well,
maker.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. God, now you just said Sylvester Stallone. And I just thought of fucking Demolition Man. Just go. Fucking love that movie.
Great movie.
Oh, cat.
I got you.
So yeah, Scott just like, I know I have like a visitation thing going on, but I'm immediately going to break that. And I'm just going to go in their house and I'm going to talk to Charlie. And this is when Scott fully embraces the fact that no, he is Santa and then kidnaps his child.
It's
just
fucked.
straight up
It's
kidnaps
really
him
fucked.
because they literally wander into the kitchen and then come out and they're like, Charlie, what? Yep, kidnapped.
The thing you do with your kid.
Yeah.
He's mine. I don't care what the court says. Chloroforms Charlie, like throws him over his shoulder.
What does this smell like?
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
I am Santa Claus.
This could be a horror movie real quick.
There's plenty
Dude,
of
You
horror
ever
Santa
see
Claus.
those, like, it was like those YouTube edits of like somebody took Mrs. Doubtfire and edited the trailer into a horror movie.
Yes.
Yes.
They should do that for this movie. I bet they could really make a fucking
would work.
effective trailer.
It would work.
I'd watch it.
Me
So
too.
we get like a split like situation where one of it is Laura and Neil looking for Charlie and the other is Scott fully becoming Santa and prepping for Christmas. And he meets Quentin, who works in R&D, and he's making some improvements to like the suit. Like there's a fire suit underneath his suit.
It looks like a spacesuit is what it does.
Also, Santa is magical. Like you literally saw that he took a house that didn't have a chimney or a fireplace and like magically created a fireplace. So what does he need a fire suit for? Like, all right, sure.
That's his. Well, it's think of it in the same principles as Unbreakable. That's his weakness, and falling off roofs.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
It was predetermined.
It's not fireproof.
It was.
Yeah.
It was all
destined.
theatrics.
Yeah.
He was already done at that point.
Yeah, he was already checked out. He's like, all right, he's coming. I was really loud on the roof. He heard me. No one ever hears me on the roof. He walks
The
out the
Santa
door. He's
put in
like,
his 2
all
weeks
right, time to
notice.
put, yeah, time to put on
Time
one
to
final show. Whoa!
Then TimAllen goes, "Whoa, buddy,
What?
stop!" He's sliding down. I'm sorry. If somebody was fucking sliding down my roof, the last fucking thing I would say is, "Whoa, buddy, stop!"
What do I do? Oh. So yeah, we're back at the North Pole, and they're doing their. We got ZZ Top playing, and the whole thing when they dance, all improvised. It wasn't in the script. Yeah,
Oh,
they just,
really?
Yep, they just did it. Yep.
If this movie was made 20 years later, you would have power armor
Yep.
like Iron Man.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see an Iron Santa Claus.
We can make it happen. Santa Claus, the Present Wars.
The present
Oh,
wars.
No, there is a cover of Iron Man, but it's I Am Santa Claus.
Yeah,
Do
okay.
you remember that one? Oh my gosh.
No, I think I have. Yeah, no, or it could be the Santa from Futurama,
Oh yeah, dude.
done by John Goodman and all.
Oh my
Oh.
god! You put John Goodman in anything, and I'm there.
Have you seen that episode?
No.
Go watch if you can find it. Go watch the old Futurama with Xmas. It's John Goodman voices an evil robot Santa Claus.
It's fucking great.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So they're just arresting Santas all over the place because that's literally what they're looking for, because Scott pretty much is stating that he is Santa Claus.
We just talked
And
about this.
We just talked
Silent
about
Night,
this.
Deadly Night.
Oh, yes.
Too.
Yep. Yeah,
We make
two.
reference to this.
Waiting for a garbage day line.
Not yet. Nobody has any garbage cans, I don't think.
So Santa, yeah, he takes off. He's ready to go. He's off to deliver the toys around the world. And we got an updated sleigh that's got the hot chocolate dispenser with the cookie that comes out, because he says what compact disc, or no, it's got a CD-ROM, and he's like, what, a compact disc? No, it's like, no, chocolate and a cookie. And I was like, what? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. And he goes back to Sarah's house, the little girl from the beginning of the movie, and she hasn't aged at all. She's still missing the same teeth, even though it's a year later.
Normal.
Like, they couldn't even cast a girl that's slightly older to be like, all right, we got to make sure she has a full set of teeth in her mouth. It's been a year. What's going on with this girl's palate? She needs some help. Oh man. But yeah,
She needs the milk.
she needs
sorry.
some milk. Oh, but yeah, she leaves him soy milk. I love his reaction when he drinks the soy milk. Oh,
Yeah,
like,
literally.
she's like, it's soy milk. He's like, you said you were lactose intolerant last time. He's like, I did say that, didn't I? He's got the cool hat that's got the microphone in the like this part of it. I was like, that's cool. I always wondered why his hat was so like it never moved. I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's a microphone. So yeah, Santa gets arrested when he goes to Charlie's house. He drops his hat, so no, he can't call for help. And this activates the elves, which are, oh shit, I didn't even realize. What the hell? What does the elf stand for again? It's like,
Everyone loves fragrant
No.
soaps.
Yeah, I do. It's like something squad, like recovery squad or something
Yeah.
like that, or like
yeah.
elusive fucking
It's
whatever
like
squad.
oh shit, I can't remember.
Think of it like Inglorious Bastards, but for the North Pole.
Yeah, they come in, they got like jetpacks, they go and they're gonna help save Santa. They go to the police station. Well, actually, first they go to Charlie's house and they get him off the roof because he's just been chilling on top of the roof for like hours. I'm like,
Yep.
This kid's dead, hypothermia. But he saves him, and they go to the police station. They tie up the policeman who's at the front desk. They go into the cell and get Santa out using magical tinsel that literally cuts the hinges off of the jail cell.
Cool as fuck though.
I just love the cop. He's like, who are you? He's like, we're elves with attitude.
And you're like, fuck, this is
This
the
guy
90s.
is, this kid who plays the head, like the leader of the elf squad, is just so serious, man. He is just chewing up every scene he's in. He's like giving that weird, like, cocky smirk. Yeah, I'm an elf, baby. So they get back to Charlie's house, and this one, Laura and Neil, like, fully embrace. Like, they're fully embrace the fact that he is Santa. And all they have to do is walk up and look at him in the face closer than usual. That's literally how they realize it. Because, like, Laura just like, she's like, "Oh, you're Santa," and then Neil's like, "Oh, he's just tricking us with his illusions." Because Bernard shows up, and he thinks that's
With a
all.
pita.
Yeah, he's just eating a pita, and then fucking Neil takes it from him.
Yeah, that rude son of a bitch. I'd be pissed if he took my pita.
That
Bernard
pita
can
had
fuck
way
you up,
too much
dude.
fucking
There was
lettuce
so
on there.
much lettuce. I was like,
dude, bro. I was like, first of all, that looks fucking disgusting with that much fucking lettuce on there. Come on, dude.
I was like, is there
Out of
anything else in
control.
there?
No, that's it. It's fucking lettuce. That's all they eat up there at the North Pole.
Oh, I completely missed the interrogation scene with Santa where he's being interrogated by the cop, and he's asking him who he is, and he just keeps giving him
Name.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just keeps saying different versions of Santa Claus. I love the Papa Gishu.
Yeah, he does it. Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, he is he's set free, goes back to the house. Neil and Laura finally determine that he is actually Santa Claus, and
Which is bullshit, by the way.
yeah. So it just, like I said, they literally walk up to him real close and was like, "Oh my God, it's really you!"
It's like they didn't have a fucking ending in mind, and they're like, "What if he just looks at him?"
Yeah,
Genius.
perfect. And yeah, but he tells Charlie can't come with him. He's got to stay here, be with Mom and Neil. And he gets sad, and we get sad. We're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie should, because his parents kind of suck." So yeah, so Santa, he reveals himself to everybody. So clearly, it was never a secret. Like, it was never something that Scott had to keep secret. It was literally, he could have told anyone he was Santa, but it was the fact that he never believed himself.
Yep.
Until Charlie pretty much convinced him. So pretty much Charlie convinces him to put on the suit, and then fully convinces him it truly is Santa Claus. So good on you, Charlie. You turned your dad into Santa Claus, and now you're never going to see him again. So yeah, he goes and he blasts off, but before he blasts off, he drops a couple gifts for Laura and Neil. And what is it? What are they? Mystery date and the Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. Aw, they got their gifts. So nice. The mystery date theme plays when she actually opens it up.
I had no idea.
Never.
Yeah,
heard
I
of
did
it, to
not
be
pick
honest,
up on
so,
that. No.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's like, cool, okay. So you find out from Bernard that the snow globe actually is magical, to the fact that when Charlie wants to see his dad, he just has to shake it and his dad will show up. But he does it and it's not working. At least he doesn't think it's working. He gets sad, but as soon as he's about to go in the house, Daddy Santa's there, coming down with his sack of toys. And he's just like, "What the hell, man? I've been gone like 5 minutes. You couldn't wait?" And then he asks if he wants to go for a ride, and the mom says yes. But then she's like, "You can't go over the ocean." And she yells at him as they fly away. And that's it. That is 1994's The Santa Clause. Now it's time to go around the room and share our final thoughts on the movie. Joey, after this most recent watch, what do you think of The Santa Clause 30 years later?
I got a bone to pick with this movie.
All right, I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Here's what happened. This is a very philosophical piece about trauma and how you deal with it in your psyche. The boy is going through a lot because his parents are divorced, right?
Yep.
And he goes to spend Christmas with his father this year, which is the first of many. Previous years he's been with his mother, but he's forced to be with his father this time. And boy, lo and behold, old daddy has a heart attack on Christmas Eve because of all the stress from living the corporate life for so many years. And he dies. And his son is trying to deal with the trauma of his lost father by imagining this fucking world that his father is Santa Claus, and he's on the roof, and Santa falls off, and his dad and him hop on the sleigh, and they fly all around the world and deliver presents, but really this poor child is just dealing with the loss of his father. And this is what his mind concocts to deal with the trauma. Yeah, so I think this movie's pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it a lot. Thanks for letting me watch it again, man.
No problem.
Absolutely, dude. I love it. Kudos.
What about you
think he
guys?
died like when he went to bed? Like that
What?
night after he read after Tim Allen's character.
Yeah, what happened was he got scared because his father
Uh.
was actually reading a scary story, and he went to go wake his dad up because he was scared, but his dad wouldn't wake up, and there's a whole heartthrob thing where he's like, "Dad, wake up," and the dad is like, "Dad, wake up, please!" And he's just in his head. He goes numb.
Yep.
And then he's imagining that Santa Claus fell off the roof, but really it was his father's life going down the tubes. This movie's fucked up, man. If you really think about it in the old naggin. Really fucked up.
Checks out for me.
Poor Joey's gonna need to see a psychiatrist after this one.
True. Neil.
How much you charge an hour?
Thank you for telling us about your thank you for explaining how third-degree burns work. And sorry about your partner.
Oh,
The firefighter.
yeah.
And the brain broth. Oh, well, thankfully
the
the psychiatrist is
firefighter.
there. Yep.
Side note, he was the fucking. This is a weird fucking reference. He was the actor who played the camp counselor in Camp Nightmare episode of Goosebumps.
Really?
In season one of
The
Goosebumps.
firefighter?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I've been slowly making my way through the original Goosebumps series.
You'll recognize faces all over when you've seen that series as much as I have.
Listen, I saw what the heck was her name? The actress from Ginger Snaps from Freddy vs. Jason. Can't remember her name though.
Yeah, I have no idea what her name is.
My brain is like I said, mush. Dan, Angela, what do you
You go
got?
first this time.
I mean, I still like this movie, even after watching it as many times as we have. I can't say anything more.
All right, so I have a theory I've been thinking about
boy.
too.
Oh,
And
boy.
I'm not
Theory
piggybacking off
number
Joey.
2.
I was thinking about this. Then I'll give my
Do we need a tinfoil hat for you?
no.
Oh.
Fuck no. They ain't mess with my brain waves. They're already cooked. So, do you think that the elves, the Kringles, what they do is when they don't want to deliver the toys themselves, so they select a human host to be like their face of everything they do, delivering the toys and all that fun stuff. Because when he does this, it's almost like it alters his brain and personality when he becomes Santa Claus. So is he still really the same Scott Calvin? Like he's been fucked with and changed in different ways. So this is just a thought that I had. And then plus, do you think the snow globe that he gives Charlie, that Bernard gives Charlie, is actually like Saruman's Palantir from Lord of the Rings? His orb he sees things in. You think it's his
okay.
like,
Whoa.
there you go. And like Bernard came in possession of it because they're all just like an evil cult of elves, and they just use Santa as their face. Like they can't know about us. We just want to exist in peace. Santa's the thing. He goes out, gives kids the toys, blah blah blah.
You're onto something there.
Boy,
Just a random thought.
the theories are flying tonight. What?
I say we gotta have fun, dude. I like Joey's. This is great. I never thought of that. It's brilliant.
I didn't either.
It's all I thought of the whole fucking movie, dude.
Mine was like toward the end of it was with the elves thing. I was like, these elves are like embedding themselves in our society. Are they replacing us? Like, what's going on? Like, is this some Secret Wars level shit? So, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Everybody's in the snow globe, and there's another person looking in.
Oh, so like the Krampus.
Yeah, like Krampus.
Okay. Is Krampus their overlord? Is that why they're trying to amass an army to take out the Krampus?
Oh my
could
god,
be.
that might be true, actually.
And Bernard Kringle. He's like the oldest. Like anyway,
Name.
I like the movie. It's a fun watch. Always is a fun watch. It's never high on my like. I watch that every year, but like if it's on, I'm like I'm gonna watch Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like Rankin Bass level, but it's just another one of those like it's always been around for me. It's like just in the ether, so it's like you got to watch it, right?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect for the
Yeah.
time. It's a perfect 90s holiday film. It feels exactly like you would expect it to feel for a movie that came out in 94. This was TimAllen at his like the highest he would ever be in his career. Especially being a huge fan of Home Improvement, I was like, yeah, I'll watch anything this dude's in. Like Jungle to Jungle, I've used to watch the shit out of that movie.
Other things.
Yeah, other movies that he did. Yeah, but this was the staple.
Galaxy Quest, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Galaxy
Quest. Yep. But this was the staple for me when it came to like Christmas and TimAllen. Like the fact of just those two things was like, yep, I'll watch it every year, and I do multiple times, and it still holds up. The effects not as much, but for 1994, I'm going to give it a pass. For the fact it only had a $22 million budget, I'm going to give it a pass. The fact that Rick Baker did the effects work in this movie, I thought it was really good for like the reindeer and just the way that everything looked in the movie. I loved the North Pole. I thought the whole Santa's workshop looks really cool. Everything it's just magical. Like this movie is just very magical. And but as an adult, you just see the many flaws. And not the writing, it's the characters. Major flaws. Especially Laura and Neil. Fuck you both.
Yep.
All right, well, that is the Santa Claus from 1994, and now it's time to go over to the social medias and see what you all had to say about this movie. We got a couple. We got Colin from Seismic Cinema, or at Seismic Cinema, who says, "This is my all-time favorite Christmas film. Loved it as a kid and now as an adult. Properly captured the Christmas spirit for me." Very nice.
I can get down with that. I can get down with that. It's got that vibe to it.
Yep, it does.
Just very simple ones over on Instagram. We got one from Charles P9989. He just says it's meh. And then
Charles.
And then Team TNA podcast just says classic, which we agree.
Yeah.
Very much. Oh, no, we got one over on Threads from horror.curator who says it's fun, but the kid's annoying.
A little bit, but he wasn't that bad.
No, I didn't think he was.
I don't think he was remotely as bad as the parents.
Nope.
Neil, the mom. To be honest, the mom was worse than Neil. The mom was just like, "Oh my God, let your kid be a kid for Christ's sake. What are we doing here?"
No shit.
Like Neil is just kind of following along. I think she wears the pants in the family, so he was just like, "Whatever you say." But then he was like pretending to be mad when things wouldn't go his way, and I was like, Neil, stop. Just stop.
He's a fucking dweeb.
Yeah. Go back to the bank. He's going to be an assistant manager at the bank someday.
Yes.
Gremlins reference for anyone who's like, what?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, next week is our season finale. It is going to be the first episode of 2025 because that's just when it's going to fall, which means we are doing a New Year's episode. But right now, it's going to be a surprise because hold on to your butts because it's going to be a fun one. And then we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. We're very excited for that, especially me because I need it because the brain needs to rejuice. And but we're not going anywhere. There's still going to be things coming out even when we're on the break, so don't worry. Joey, we appreciate you being here once again. You were here, I think this is your third appearance this season, which
I think so, yeah.
It's going to be many, many, many more in the future because we love you so much over here. And,
I'd love to be here. This is great.
And if you want to check out prior episodes that Joey has been a part of, he was on Leprechaun 2 earlier this year. He came back for I got to remember the episodes you were on. What were you on?
Polar Express.
Well, yeah, he was on Polar Express last year.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy.
Yeah, Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, which is please go listen to that episode. I realize people go, "Oh, old movie, I don't care." Please go listen to that episode. It's a really good episode, and seriously watch the movie. It's a really funny movie.
So good.
Yeah, anytime you put an episode out of an older movie, people are just like,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So give it some love, please. Go over to YouTube, go watch it, do whatever, however you consume your podcast, any which way.
Stick it in your mouth.
But guess what?
That's right.
Joey will be back very soon because he is our Leprechaun guy now. So he will be back in March for Leprechaun 3. So that will most likely be Joey's next appearance on the show.
Yes.
So
yes.
stay tuned for that. But Joey, for people who may not know you, which would be kind of crazy, tell everybody where they can find you and what they should be checking out over on the official Joey C YouTube, because that's where all the shit's going on.
That is true. It's I heard it's youtube.com/official Joey C. And if you've ever thought to yourself, boy, I wonder what the restaurants look like in the multitudes of video games that there is out there, and you're traversing the world of GTA 5 or, Zelda Breath of the Wild or anything like that, and you got to get a bite to eat and you want to examine the quality of food before you eat there, I'm your guy, okay? I will walk you through the entire process. And on top of that, if you want to follow my boring day in my life, I have a series called that too. Listen, my life is very boring, but if you want dumb, stupid videos on the internet, that's your place to get it, folks. And I even cover some movies sometime. More recently, Inspector Gadget 2, the 2003 absolute fucking classic movie. Good Lord.
God,
that movie's so good. So good. Oh God.
So few
excited.
people have ever stated that those words in their life.
What's his name? French Stewart. French Stewart. I DM'd him on Instagram. He read it and didn't respond. I emailed him. I'm like, dude, give me a Joey C exclusive. I love this movie. God damn it. He read my DM and didn't respond.
He also was in a Home Alone sequel where he came back and played Marv.
That's right. And he was in Clock Stoppers, also from 2002.
Yes. Yep. Well, yeah, everything Joey C, official Joey C, will be down in the description of the video or in the show notes. So make sure to check out all the amazing videos that he's doing over there. You might see my face in a few of those videos. So
you will.
There you go. As for us, you know where to find us. We're at Dissect That Film on pretty much everything except for Instagram and Threads, because fuck you hackers. We're Dissect That Film Pod over there. Or you could just go to our LINKTREE, which is pretty much in every bio of every social media and also here on YouTube. Just go to LINKTREE/Dissect That Film. It'll literally have every link that you need. Merch, Patreon, all that stuff. Yes, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Dissect That Film, where you can support the show financially. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about the Patreon, because things are going to be changing in 2025 when it comes to the Patreon. So stay tuned for that. I am releasing episodes early, unedited. So as we record them, I'm just going to throw them onto Patreon. So hopefully we don't say something too bad where people will cancel the show. So I just have to make sure I pay attention to those things. But yeah, we're doing that. That's kind of our new thing. It also gives me more time to edit episodes. Nice. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. We have one more episode of the year, and I'm excited to take a break, but I'm also sad that the season's already ending. We've already another year in the bag for Dissect That Film, but we still got one more, so stay tuned for that. All right, until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan Angel of DNA Gaming, and that is the official Joey C. This is another episode of Dissect That Film Podcast. We'll see y'all again next time. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that fun stuff, and we'll see y'all again in 2025. Have a good one. Bye. Happy New Year.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Whoa.